Hey everybody, John Foss, CW Twin Cities, talking with Jimmer Fredette about the new documentary, The Lonely Master, which chronicles his basketball career and will air on BYU TV April 6th at 9 p.m. Jimmer, tell us about the film.
Yeah, it's a great documentary. Jared Harris and Scott Christopherson, who were the producers on it, did a great job of the vision along with BYU TV to get this thing going. And it kind of goes through my career and me growing up a little bit, and shows footage of high school, and then obviously Jimmermania at BYU, and then goes into my NBA career and my first stint there, and all the ups and downs that went into my first stint in the NBA, and then ultimately gets to China, and talks a lot about myself playing basketball in China, embracing myself in the culture and what I do over there on a daily basis, and how difficult it can be to be away from my family and playing basketball in a different country. And ultimately, it follows me trying to reach my goal again of making it back into the NBA, and this time playing well. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it flows extremely nicely. There's a lot of great footage, behind the scenes things that you can see, and I try to let people into my life a little bit, and hopefully it'll be an inspirational story to a lot of people out there.
So tell us how this film came about, and were you worried at all about it being a distraction for you trying to make a comeback to the NBA?
Yeah, I'm kind of a more private person, and so is my family, so there were definitely talks about that and trying to figure out whether we really wanted to do it or not. We knew it was going to be, for a long time. We knew it was going to be probably over a year that they would be following us, but we ultimately decided that we thought it could be a really big help to a lot of people and an inspirational thing to a lot of people, and we wanted to show people a little bit what it was like to play basketball in China, just because I can talk to them about it, but they don't get to actually see me play much, and they don't get to see me over there and see what I do on a daily basis, and it's sometimes hard to describe. So to be able to show that through a film is a perfect way to do it, and we'll be able to have this footage for the rest of our lives to show our kids and different people throughout the year. So ultimately we decided to do it, and just excited for people to watch it.
Great film, by the way, and I actually watched it with my wife last night, and one of the questions she had from a wife's perspective is, why didn't your wife travel with you? Because it sounds like in the documentary one of the hardships that you guys went through was being away for so long, with you being in China and her being here in the United States.
There are many reasons. A lot of it, obviously it is a short season, so it's easier to be away for a little bit shorter of a time, but also she was pregnant for 2 out of the 3 years that I was there. And because she was pregnant, obviously she had a lot of doctor's appointments and checkups and different things that we had to do. And we also had a 2-year-old little girl that she was taking care of, that had to do a lot of different doctor's appointments and things like that obviously we can't really miss and can't really do while we're in China. So I think there's a lot that goes into it, and besides being over there, and so it's a tough situation. I mean, a lot of basketball players that play overseas knows exactly what it's about, and know how that kind of works out. So unfortunately she wasn't able to be with me the whole time. Obviously she came over every single year. She would come over for a month or a month and a half at a time, just to kind of break it up in between. But there were some times where we hadn't seen each other for 6 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever it is. So it was difficult, but ultimately made us stronger, and we were able to get through it.
When people think Chinese professional basketball, people usually think of Steph Marbury, just because he's been so dominant in that country playing basketball for so long. In the film, you guys actually play against each other, and you dominate the game. 54 points, he scores 4 points, you guys get into a fight. Number one, what was the fight about? And number two, by the way that you outplayed him so much, do you think that was kind of a passing the torch as far as the best Chinese professional basketball player?
Well, obviously me and him are both competitive guys. I grew up watching Steph playing in the NBA, being from New York, and watching him on the Knicks. So I used to love watching him play in the NBA, and obviously being a competitive guy, when you're out there, and he came out and kind of took a little bit of a cheap shot at me as I was going in for a layup, and I didn't love it, and got caught up in the moment and just kind of pushed him a little bit, and we got into it a little bit, but then after that it was kind of over with, and then I was a little bit upset and tried to take it out on the court, just go out there and do anything I could to win. And obviously he was in his last season there in China. So he was, kind of on his last leg, and was more of a guy that was getting his players involved and kind of being a player coach out there. So he wasn't at his full prime or anything like that. But hopefully he did pass the torch to me at that point, and been able to be successful over there and had a really great career and did a lot of great things, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Congratulations for being back in the NBA. That's definitely a great ending to this documentary. What does success look like for you going forward as far as being an NBA player and just a basketball player in general?
Yeah, thank you, first of all. Yeah, excited to be back here with the Suns and just grateful for the opportunity, and trying to not take anything for granted, to go out there each and every single day and play well and progress on the practice court and in the games and everything, and try to provide as much energy as I possibly can. And for me, success is just being able to go out there and deliver each and every single night. Whatever it is, whatever role and capacity that I get out there on the floor, make sure that I do the best that I can and put it all out there and play my game, be aggressive, try to score the basketball, and I believe that I can do that, and I believe that I can stick in this league if I do that, and hopefully I'll be able to find a great role and be able to play hard and play well each and every single night. So not necessarily a number or anything like that I can put for success, but I just want to be able to go out there and play my game and be able to stick.
Okay, 2 quick ones because I know you need to go. NCAA Tournament, who's going to win?
I hope Virginia does now. I want to see them win just with all the stuff that they've been through in the past, especially last year. So I'm rooting for them, but who knows? It's anybody's game at this point.
Okay, and last question. Who is the best basketball player of all time?
Oh, that's so hard. I mean, being prisoner of the moment, obviously I've watched and grew up and watched LeBron so much. It's obviously either Jordan or LeBron, so I don't know. I think LeBron may be a better basketball player, but Jordan was an unbelievable, a better winner for sure. He knew how to win, and he was unbelievably competitive. Okay, well, Jimmer Fredette, thank you so much for taking the time. Twin Cities, make sure you check out The Lonely Master on BYU TV, April 6th at 9 p.m. Thanks, Jimmer. Thank you for having me on.